And we're ready to go here on Mirage. Evil Genius's Brazen first map about to get underway. And it is Brazen who'll be starting the attack side. What are we going to see from them? Looks like an A play. John, how are you feeling about this this map for the two teams?
Yeah, I think Brazen certainly like to play here. Evil Geniuses have a losing record over the last 3 months, 2-3, but still a positive round differential, +1. That's how close those matches have been. So, I don't know. I'd say it's probably going to be pretty even, at least in terms of how comfortable these teams feel on the map. But I'd say that EG have the firepower edge right now, especially Wiz, who's been absolutely a monster.
Well, that's messy for Rush. He does eventually get one done, but this is going to be Walco following him into the grave. And now it's not a great situation for the Evil Geniuses. They're pushed out. There's a player in connector. Wiz, fortunately for EG, does take that through, but he nearly gets dropped through the wood panel. This is going to be even numbers, and Stanislav's already worked his way out of Ticket, and that'll be a cleanup. Okay, Chop's dualies come into play, and here we go. Defuse on for EG.
Wiz just through the panel, man. Takes a headshot, goes down to 6 HP. Lucky to be alive, but it was a difference maker because it attracted attention from Brazen and gave Stanislav the chance to slip in from CT. So 1-0 for the Evil Geniuses. And I do want to talk a little bit more about Wiz's performance because his stats are pretty mind-boggling. 242 frags over 10 maps played here in Challenger League and a +82 kill to death differential, which is ridiculous. It is 72 above the second place player, that is Stanislav, at +10. He has been on fire and leads the team in ADR as well at 89.7. So Wiz, I mean, he's really come into his own since the team was picked up by EG. There's no question at all.
It's really something that we've been looking for him.
Yes.
Right? Last year was a downtick, a downtrend in his individual performance, and it's something that we knew, having seen him here in Challenger League for so long, the levels that he could achieve. So it's always been a question of getting back to it, getting that shaped up, and it is nice to see the confidence start to build into it for sure. And I think, the more time he has on this, the better it will be. This round is dangerous, though. As we know, the force buy always risky, and my goodness, is it looking good for Brazen initially. Man down in the retake. This is going to be a tough one, tough ask. Some teams would just make a conservative call and save here, and Rush getting domed should just about make that decision here. Evil Geniuses, well, they're going to suffer a little bit of a defeat here in the second round. Brazen, big round win early.
Yeah, I mean, good job by Brazen off the bomb plant in that first round. Yes, they ended up going down. It was a 5v3, I believe, at one point, at least a 4v3, and the other 3 G players took down. But here, nice take of the B site. Walco gets a little aggressive on the save. He just wanted to grab that A1S off the ground, and is able to do so, and gets the frag onto Polo. But Brazen are still going to take this round again. Excellent execute onto the B site, and that decisive entry frag was really the difference maker. So we'll see if they can pick it up and keep it going here on Mirage. Last time they played was up against Carry Esports, and that was a win, 16-10.
Slightly different standard of competition.
Slightly.
Just a touch. Just a pinch. Although those are the Team 1 Slayers, Carry Esports, don't you know? So, so maybe they can get it done. This round going to be a little bit rough. But, John, why don't you take it away?
All right, let's see how this one shakes out. Round number 3. Evil Geniuses did save a couple of rifles from that previous round. As you guys saw, those 2 A1Ss still up and running, and they're going to force up around it. And the Force by Wars have effectively begun. Molotov going to get tossed at the feet of Grape, and he gets spotted out thanks to that audio cue. He will back himself in towards the lower tunnel for the time being. Wiz looking to reinforce Stanislav and Walco. A lot of presence towards the window at this point. Polo peering around. And the smokes are guising off the advance here for Brazen. Eventually they will fade, and Brazen's going to have to tuck into cover. Before they do, Walco will have an engagement here with Polo, and he wins it. Polo going down, man advantage to kick off the round belongs to the Evil Geniuses. Brazen are posturing towards the A set. They got a lot of presence here, but there's the 5-7 connecting from Stanislav, and uh-oh. Brazen, after winning that previous round, are in a heap of trouble. 5v3. Arzu gets flashed off and does connect on the one tap on Stan, but he doesn't realize that Rush is here under balcony. He's not even clearing it. Molotov comes in, luckily for him, and it will support his push here towards the A site. Frankie gets the frag onto Rush. That evens things out at a 3v3. A1S out will go down to Arzu. So Brazen managing to pull this one back. 5v3 to a 3v2 advantage. Chop peering around the corner position now. No, and he gets one, maybe even the second. No, denied by Frankie. Excellent trade coming through from Brazen. Now a 1v1. Walco going up against Frankie here. Bomb ticking away. Frankie a chance to get a very important round for his squad, given how much they invested into this round in the previous one. They don't want to fall here. Walco has an idea of where he might be, but his utility has just been spent. That last piece, the flashbang. Walco taps the bomb, waiting for a peek to come around. He predicts the wrong side, but he looks around and does get the flick to the left. The thing is, will he have time for the defusal is the other question. He has the kit. Now he realizes he does not have time, trying to escape with the AK, and he will at least get that. 11 HP, stays alive, but Brazen just barely, by the skin of their teeth, secure this round. 2-1 in their favor. Wow. EG looked like they were poised to take that round with the 5v3 edge, but Brazen just kept fighting back in. Arzu in particular with the AK, the tap towards the head of Stanislaw, and then the support from his teammates. The Molotov underneath Balcony was clutch, because without that, it gets a lot harder for Arzu to find his way into the site. Here we go again. Evil Geniuses, with the success they found in that previous round and the AK saved up, they are going to force again. Not sure this is necessarily a good decision on their part, because that CT economy, you need to get it under your feet. But perhaps they're figuring it would have been a double save anyway, so why not try for it? Stanislaw going to get tagged down to an 40 HP with the A1S. And Arzu is just going to make sure Balcony's cleared out here. Obviously.
Got the space, got the foothold. There's not a lot of utility on the other side, so retaking here is going to be challenging. The util will start to sail in. All the bodies are here for Evil Geniuses. The question is, can they get past these smokes? And wow, that's a nice play from Walco. Slips away. He's not traded. Now there's a player up on top. A ticket rush. Maybe forces that issue a little bit early, but he wanted to try and get some impact. Oh, the spam finds Grape. He's quite low. This is a little bit of a risky one here for Brazen, and the bodies start to drop. Look at the health remaining, right? They've got Polo coming in from the flank, but he's far away. They're losing bodies in the meantime. Frankie one out of the jungle position. He's not positioned to play the post plant on the bomb. It's just going to be left to Polo. They're going to smoke this down. They can get somebody on the bomb. They'll double swing, and there it is. This should be time enough for a round win. There's even a kit right in front of him. Rush doesn't know that, but he will definitely have plenty of time for the defuse. Nice round from Walco. 4 huge kills. Difference maker for sure.
Yeah, he had 3 frags in the round before that, where they lost to Brazen because he just didn't have enough time for the defusal. But in this one, a 4K pitching in for almost all the damage needed in the round. And up to 8-1 on the scoreboard. And we kind of talked about him a little bit before too, Mike, right? Saying that he won't have those IGL duties on his shoulders as much anymore. Stanislaw obviously taking the brunt of that work. And that means he can focus more on his rifling, which, I mean, was very effective even when he was IGL. So, you know, we're seeing it right here with this very hot start. Wiz, we talked about him already. Opens things up with the op frag onto Dangerous. Makes it a 5v3. And then a 5v4. I was ahead of myself, predicting the future there, as it is now a 5v3.
Just getting a little excited.
Yeah.
The opping looking good. The opping on point. They're going to try and boost up, maybe bring the pressure on in here, but now it's Stanislaw who's reinforced. I don't even know that this swing is a great idea, but it's working out. And yeah, Wiz has been lost. That was an interesting forced issue there in terms of the way they're taking the fight, but I think the confidence starting to build here for Evil Geniuses, and they are getting a bit frisky. You don't want to lose too many lives just up against the pistols. There's no reason to have casualties here, and they'll make sure that it goes out relatively clean. 1 loss, not a big tragedy.
No, not at all, especially considering the op is going to be saved and thrown back over to Wiz, who had himself 2K in that previous round. But that was only against pistols. Brazen will now be bringing the rifles to bear again. 4 AKs and the Galil. But a pretty good start for Brazen, especially considering they lost that pistol round. Thing is, EG looks like they're recovering quite handily now, as that smoke's going to get tossed by Polo for window. There's going to be more utility coming in very shortly. Chop trying to get ahead of this, and he does. Into underpass. Brazen going to have to be on their toes right now to ensure they don't get caught off guard. Yeah, Grape is watching it as well.
Grape going looking. Gonna have a duel with Chop. You ever had chopped grapes? Well, now you have. So nice early pick there for EG. It's going to be a little tricky to get CHOP out of this angle. Always the trouble with an underpass play, but he's still got Walco close to hand, and they're going to actually go for a double push. This is interesting. Trade that out, but it does the player out of the spot as well, so it's a bit of a double play. In addition to the kill, you get away. Rush is put on notice. 5 points of health. A bullet will take him down, but advantage, at least for the moment, stays with EG. And it seems like this is going to go into a pretty straightforward A-take. They don't have smokes for this. Which means this is really gonna stink for
No
Brazen.
util.
A-take with no smokes, you're gonna have a bad time.
Ugh.
I think they're even fortunate Wiz isn't just scoped up, posted. There's one. He's going looking. They haven't gone with, so they kind of abandoned Polo to the sandwich position. I don't know what Dane is holding for here. I think they're holding for a T-side save.
Alrighty. Yeah, given that
20
they're...
seconds still on the clock. I mean, this is even an ambitious save, but I just can't... I guess that... I can't imagine they're still going to go for this. They've got nothing.
No, there's no way. 10 seconds left. It's done. They just got caught with no utility, right? In that situation, given that loss bonus is not going to be that great in the next round, you're better off saving the armor and the AK and trying again in the next one. That's exactly what's going to happen. That was a little bit mismanaged by Brazen, right? They were going for the hit with 0 util. I think they had a flashbang. They threw that, and afterwards, that's it. That's all. So they just were trying to take the dry fights and actually got more position than you would have expected, given that Wiz was hanging out towards Ticket. But at the end of the day, Wiz spots out the sandwich player, and the other 2 players were at ramp and in Palace, and they just couldn't get into the site. So, wow. Interesting turn of events there for Brazen.
This is always going to be kind of the challenge. Once the guns come out, you start to see firepower difference. That was a good flashbang. Problem is, Rush was here to keep it clean, to keep it collected. A little ambitious on that fight, Wiz.
A little
Feeling
bit.
it. There's a chance in this round. Frankie is making it happen. Frankie has just ripped some domes, and he's trying to make this his own. CHOP will have a chance to bring back the 1v2. If they try and plant in his face, that would be a bit of a blunder. They're going to plant safe. Plant in towards default. Go for a double swing here, perhaps. Pretty good idea of Frankie's position. He should know the read. Getting the smoke out here. This is even bold. The utility instead of the gun in the 1v2. Frankie's just gonna hold the line, and 1 bullet will put that away. What a round out from the new addition in Frankie.
Yeah, a great round from him, but EG gave him a little too many opportunities, right? Wiz should have just been postured towards Ticket. He didn't have to push all the way up, and because he took that aggressive spot, Frankie punished him. And full credit to Frankie, those shots were wicked, and he capitalized on every single opportunity, but EG were just completely caught out of position there. 2 players in connector, both went down to Frankie, and of course the opening one onto Wiz. After that in the 1v1, he played it perfectly, and CHOP really didn't have the HP to survive an extended engagement, and well, you saw the result. So Brazen back on the board with his 3rd. Frankie waiting for the push, and it's a good idea because he gets 1 more, but Rush gets the trade. That's a lot of space gained. If Rush chooses to push up, he'll realize that it's not coming to the A site, but with that all happening, Brazen might just go for a quick take here. We'll see if Wiz is up to the challenge.
They need a flashbang to clear this. Try peeking catwalk. Wiz hasn't been playing here, but now he's punishing them for it. Walco's in position as well. Polo and Arzu, they're limited on their util. They're limited on what they can do with this. This is going to be challenging. Walco will get forward. He's got reinforcements as well. They haven't quite full rotated, but now they will. Bold to peek back in for that Molotov. Let's get the reload even. There we go. That's why Walco could trust it. He had Wiz on oversight. And this one's going to be pretty darn clean for the Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, again, promising start there with Frankie finding the opener, but once the trade comes through and, well, Evil Geniuses realize what's happening, all they had to do was hit their shots, and that they did. Brazen, again, a little light in the util once they were actually going for their actual hit, and that means that their round victory is, again, isolated. 5-3 in favor of EG, and you see the pistols need to come out here for Brazen. Perhaps a little conservative, but I mean, you kind of have to. No, it's actually not, because they didn't have enough money to really invest. They just bought the Deagles. This is the right call. 3 Deagles coming through, and the 2 Glocks. Wiz waiting towards top mid. CHOP spots out a player. He's going to toss that nade for sure. There it goes. Will it connect? Not really, but at least he has the information, and we'll see if Brazen decides to push. Wiz, on the other hand, is waiting here. It's going to be a run boost from Arzu and Frankie. Right. Eventually.
How's Wiz at shooting clay pigeons? Let's find out. Oh, he
we won't see.
Timing. ruins this for us.
Yeah.
Who cares about for the players? It's about our entertainment, chat. It's about our entertainment here. Uh-oh. That's the first domino to fall. Rush just getting overwhelmed with Glocks. Glocks! Uh-oh. 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 Don't stick around for these fights. Glocks can get very dangerous very quickly. Step in the window. He gets dropped. The Eagle comes to play. This round is way too out of control right now for Evil Geniuses. Looking like they might have the recovery. No players in jungle. Walco has that information, but does he expect a late play out of Palace for Arzu? Arzu previously got a kill from mid, if I'm not mistaken, so this could be surprising. Problem is he's the only one left alive. And this is quite the recovery for EG, because frankly, it was looking rough. Quite rough. And now, it's going to be A-OK. 3 players survive.
Oh, good thing Walco is on his game here. 3K to help his team recover. In fact, 2 in a row to bring that from potential catastrophe down to under control in the round. And a 6-3 scoreline in favor of EG as they're doubling up on Brazen. But none of these rounds have necessarily felt very convincing from either side in their round victories. Maybe one where EG lost Wiz and the other 4 players were standing. But outside of that, Wiz, speaking of which, going to be pushing up towards the A ramp. He tossed that Molotov, and he's going to go for this aggressive position again, Mike, with the op. He really wants to hold up close and personal. And Brazen, in fact, are posturing more towards the B site than A, except for one player that's lurking. That's Frankie, and we saw how much damage he did last time in a similar position after he pushed up from Palace. But in this situation, he doesn't really want to explore any further. Likely going to regroup with his teammates. How far do EG push up is the question.
I think they're content to hold this deep ramp setup because it means that you free up the 3rd player to explore mid, and then you can play double B very comfortably. They've actually got CHOP in the corner, up in the little ninja spot. So that could be a rude surprise if Brazen do execute on towards B. Doesn't seem like that's going to be the case, at least not yet. Mid control is the aim of the game right now, though as I say that, this is a split B. Ooh, okay. CHOP's position could get very interesting indeed. Now it's about whether they can catch Walco off and towards mid. Stand aggressively postured in apps. They're going to come through. Oh boy, they thought he was on the blue chair, and he was very close to it. But he was not the bear in the big blue chair. He was the Stan by the brown sedan. There's no brown sedan in there. It doesn't make sense. But I tried. I tried to get there. Arzu is going to try, but with 25 seconds and no health, he is going to try to save. And that is going to be a tough ask. Rush coming a thundering down the hall. Oh, he's got him.
And in both cases, Mike, I appreciate the effort as Arzu is going to go down in that attempted save, and Evil Genius is up 7-3. Timeout going to be called here, and I will check to see who's calling that because perhaps it'll be on the Brazen side, knowing the situation that Polo is in. He is playing right now. There's a hurricane coming towards him, and he's just going to keep playing until the power gets knocked out. So we've been told. I don't know how I feel about that, Mike, but I guess he's comfortable with it, so that's what's important, I suppose.
Sure. Yeah, we know CS players always make great decisions.
Yeah.
It's never been a lack of judgment there. I mean, no, genuinely, I had no idea what his situation is, so don't wanna comment on it too much, but we would still be safe.
Absolutely. Safety is number 1.
Safety is definitely number 1. Individual performance, they could use a little bit more. I mean, Dane sitting on the donut, great, not a whole lot better. They need the pieces to be hitting against the CG roster. We know that firepower is always going to be a bit of a challenge in this particular matchup, and Stan has gone to the secondary op to add to a little bit of firepower. He might get caught here. Yeah, that was ambitious, having no support in towards mid. Before, when we saw the aggressive posturing from EG, they left players in connector to be able to reaggress. Now it's just an op that's been given over.
Yeah.
An interesting scenario. Walco wants to try and recover, and he's just dead because he didn't anticipate them being underpassed. This feels like a really disjointed round for EG.
Why wouldn't he expect them either, right? Because Stan should have
someone
called
had
that.
just died there.
Yeah.
This is confusion in this round, it seems. And now we'll have to see if EG can recover. They do have 2 players postured towards the right side of the map to make something of this. Chop onto the window. I mean, this could be a really strong position. The question is, when does Arzu come through the murder hole? past the angle, past the angle. They might think it's clear. That shot does not land. That is a shot that Wiz will wish he had back. He will get it back. And now they've cleaned out the player in mid. So suddenly this went from looking like a very strange and rough round to looking like it's all EG all day, no problem, baby. Bomb plant, maybe? No.
Well, some scary moments in the round for EG, there's no question, but a good setup from Wiz and Chop, given the circumstances, right? Because Chop just tucked in towards Cat, waiting for the peaks or the drops to come out from the apartments, and Wiz spotting out players for him. Missed the first shot, but luckily for him, gets a second crack at it, connects, and in the meantime, you saw Chop just riddling players with bullets as he spotted them trying to get into that bomb site. So well played from EG, despite another, as mentioned, very shaky start. At least they're going to take the half there with that 8th round victory, and Arzu going to peek around here with the AWP. That was a pistol round for Brazen that almost got out of hand for the Evil Geniuses. Arzu going to come in with the AWP, peering over the tippy top of this smoke into connector, but Brazen should be able to take mid here.
Arzu. Very close to a little picky poo. Not quite going to find it. It'll be dangerous instead. What a way to get on the board. Nice early kill on Walco. And adventurous in the underpass. That has felt like a bit of a double-edged sword for EG so far. But this deep apartment control is going to give them such a strong position if this eventually came towards B. It's not going to, though. Instead, look at this. A side under threat. Smoke in means that Wiz shouldn't even have vision to be able to do anything about this. He's just trying to clear out in towards mid. And if he doesn't pick his timing right, Grape might have this kill. Oh, Wiz with the reposition. Grape hear that. I'll have to break the shutter. That's... Oh, okay. I was Rush who got the kill. I was going to say that is a lightning fast kill. Grape does eventually strike, taking down Rush. Means that Wiz is now on notice, and this is probably just going to turn to a save.
Yeah, a bit of a weird turn of events there for the Evil Geniuses. Losing all 3 players in very similar spots, and you're right, it's just going to be a save now as Wiz wants to keep the op up, Chop with the A1S, and it makes sense because with these 2 guns saved, they can get pretty much a full-on buy up in the next round. So Chop going to tuck himself in here at top mid, and the bomb's going to explode, so good on Brazen. They find themselves a 4th round here.
Interesting to see the emphasis on underpass from EG. Hasn't gone great for them by and large. Should be able to buy into this round. That shouldn't be a problem. 2 guns can be dropped over. And it's all good. But they've made a lot of plays into underpass. Very risky play, generally speaking. Especially because they tend to make plays into underpass without con presence. Typically, if you're going to make that play, if you're going to make that peak, you also want to have presence in towards connector to drop a smoke to try and get the player out of there. We saw one round where they double push con to then give the cover for the player to withdraw, but for the most part, they've done it naked, which is, it's unusual. It's atypical for sure. This round's going to be a straightforward A take. Smokes on A. The classic. The old rinse and repeat. And it's going to be pretty successful. Everybody's locked out. EG, no presence in CT. Rush finds the gap and the smokes on the stairs. Well, the counter util will come through. There's an advantage at least for EG. This posturing's a little awkward, but it does pay off. Wiz gets his. And now Chop can inch forward, and this retake is firmly in the on column. John, here they go. Arzu.
Ooh,
misses an opportunity. That may be the last one he gets.
Hit that one. Valko's going to get the headshot onto Frankie, and Stanislaw cleans out Polo. That'll be that. What a shame for Brazen after a really good take of the A site. They continue to lose bodies. That peak from Dangerous into CT, I'm not sure he really wanted to commit to it too much, but he just went around the corner too far looking for the formation, and Wiz punished him immediately. So once they lost that player, and especially when Arzu misses the op shot, he just flicked away. Just got a little nervous, perhaps, trying to hit that shot, and that was the difference maker in the round at the end of the day. So 9-4 for Evil Geniuses, and there comes the double op again. Stanislaw and Wiz are going to be rocking that. I think, you know, we're seeing the aggression again.
Missed the fast cat. That wasn't for underpass, though. That was supposed to be a fast cat. Okay. The Molotov just offset him a little bit. Fair enough. A little more understandable. Does have an angle through connector. Not going to want to overstay his welcome here as they are hunting. They are hungry. Brazen has seized on this attempted mid play from EG as a potential weakness, a potential vulnerability. And to be fair, a lot of their opening picks have come in this side of the map. They're really hoping to get another one here. Problem is this time it's a much more conservative look out from the Evil Geniuses, and Wiz is going to find his. Catching Dangerous in the underpass, that gets a nice initial pick. Nobody's watching towards Apps, so this could get a little messy. Somebody's got to have responsibility for it, but they're wary about the cap presence. They know there's a player in mid, and that is keeping so many eyes on. CHOP now sees it. CHOP now sees it.
Man.
They might think they're past the angle. No, now they've spotted him. He's got a really awkward fight to take. Even gets a dink out from it, but that's going to be a follow-up kill as well. And suddenly it's a 3-on-4 retake. Yes, the health's not great. That just doesn't matter. If you got enough crosshairs. They do have HEs, though. They have 3 HEs. Oh, this is going to get kind of interesting.
Yeah, well, there's one.
Retakes. First one out. Doesn't get it. Polo stuck in the corner, though. A duel in the apartments. Both sides miss.
There's one.
We'll get the nade kill. Here we go. All right. HE take on. Confirmed. Happening. Great. Dead to bullets. Just one more, and Wiz taps that on down. Nicely done here from the Evil Geniuses. Double digit secured.
Yeah, the poor health, the difference maker there, no doubt about it. And the fact that EG had 3 nades was just fantastic given the situation. Wiz finally connects on one, even at the numbers. And by that point, with all the chaos that was ensuing, Evil Geniuses were able to push on through to the site and take down the remaining 3 Brazen players. So, Evil Geniuses head into the 15th and final round here with a 10-4 lead, as another timeout is going to be called here. That is Brazen again, wanting to talk things over. They do have a pretty decent buy up to work with, so we'll see if they'll be able to convert something. A 5th round would go a very long way heading on over to their CT side.
What's the chat here? Polo's like, guys, check the radar. It's good for another 10 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Util on deck here for Brazen. Lots of it. This is honestly one of the better buys in the half. A little limited a lot of the time, but why not? Let's make it happen for one more round. That's what they're going to try and do here. Heavy presence in apps early on. Flashbang's out. Stanislaw is just going to take the deep angle. Not quite the deepest of angles, but now he's on it. There we go. Pixel gap. Always love a good pixel gap. The shots I can never hit.
I mean, they're really difficult shots to hit.
They're hard to hit online. A little more doable on
Yeah.
land. Very hard to hit online. You kind of got to be either superhuman or someone needs to slow walk that angle.
Yep.
Speaking of angles. That's an interesting idea. So basically the smoke is maybe to fake flash and have them look away, and then Arzu just jumps into it. EG.Walco would have had the trade regardless, but they don't know that, certainly. So instead they just get absolutely deleted Arzu out of it on the first. Now, really tough spots here. Speaking of tough spots, Rush has left himself in sandwich. There. Clearing him. Okay. But his teammates are doing the work. Evil Geniuses up in numbers in a big way, and in this round they do not care about keeping the bone plant. They just want to win. Just win. All that matters. Dangerous about to get caught by the second player through the thicket. And yes, it is indeed a trade. At least he does get the one. Frankie set up in a 1v3. He had a hero play earlier. This half, they need another one from him. He's dodging Molotovs. He's dodging smokes. That smoke is not covering off the bomb very well because it's planted super open. But he is going to be overwhelmed. And it won't matter where the bomb is planted. They can defuse it any which way they want. Oh, they're deciding who wants to defuse it. That made me nervous, John. But all good.
love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
Evil Genius is now on the attack, and they've got a substantial lead to try and build on here. Brazen, firepower issues in the first half, unable to keep pace with EG. Well, they can't afford a slow start here. They got to get going, John.
They absolutely do, and I mean, look, none of the rounds. Oh, look at this jump from Stanislaw. It's gonna get the headshot to Frankie, and no, not the second.
That is quite the way to get on towards the site, though. A little bit of flair there. I like the idea because it's all a fake. So he goes for the flashiest, wildest possible way to go in. The type of play you wouldn't possibly make unless you had teammates behind you. And well, now the question is, what can those teammates do? They weren't behind him. They were on the other side of the map.
They saw Chop.
1v2 for Chop. Chop, the insurance policy. There's a reason he's the insurance policy. This guy is the definition of dependable. Oh my goodness, he needed 2 bullets to put that 1v2 away. Come on, Chop.
All right, Chop. Well played. Those shots were clinical. 12-4 for the Evil Geniuses. Very back and forth round, and it felt like Arzu doing work with those pistols would be enough for Brazen to come back and get that defusal, but no. Denied by Chop, who is 18-5. I swear, every time Chop plays really well, it happens in such a quiet fashion that you don't even realize it, and then he's suddenly almost up to 20.
He's phenomenal, man.
Oh,
he's
man.
Not super flashy. He's not going to go for the wild play, but he's such a good player. He's such a dependable player. And if there are, a million Chop fans, I am one. If there are no Chop fans on this earth, then I am not on this earth. Whatever the copy pasta is. Big Chop fan here. He is so reliable for this team.
Yeah.
And I think he's a massive back on the roster.
I'd love to see his consistency numbers based on that HLTV article that was written the other day.
Yeah, shout out to Nero. That was a great article.
It was fantastic. And I mean, like, if you look, I'm pretty sure if Chops were analyzed, he'd be one of the most consistent players.
If you're not familiar with the article, well, we won't talk about it right this second.
Yes.
Now, B-side's been cleared out. It's all good. Just depends on whether Frankie doing something on the flank, but he's being watched for, so he frankly shouldn't. But basically, Nero used statistical analysis and data to try and map what we're back. Okay.
Hey, guys.
Thanks for bearing with us there. Go read Nero's.
It's a solid article, honestly.
Good. And paint concept. Stan has found an opener. He's been doing great on these initial picks. I with a little more abandon, I think.
I would love it if they had an algorithm to actually calculate that on HLTV so you could see it in real time.
That's the next solution, right?
Yeah.
Although that would be
a little
I don't
bit,
think
right.
you do it in real time. Maybe like collate it by quarter kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what you can't collate by quarter is how to defend this site. You need to be able to do that in real time, and right now it is not working for Brazen. They are getting dismantled one by one. They fall. If Walco gets a kill here, it's a team ace, as everybody from Brazen has gotten absolutely shreked upon. I think is the technical term. Polo, the last survivor, he's just gone over chop, and well, that shot gives his position away. Goodbye, Polo.
Hello, Chop. 21 and 5, the first player in the server to hit the 20 bomb. And honestly, I thought it was going to be Wiz or Walco the way they were playing early on, but Chop just has exploded here and helped Evil Geniuses power their way to a 14th. Another timeout's going to be called here. You have to imagine my Brazen, because everything has really been going Evil Geniuses' way up to this point, and there will be their third of 4 timeouts being used here.
Oh, you can't take him with you, John.
No, you can't.
It's only been 3 rounds at since the half, right? Problem is, you had an 11-4 half, so you don't get that many. Don't get that many rounds.
No.
Don't get many rounds at all if you can't win early. And doesn't seem like I can win early here. So Deagle's going to be out. They want to play for overtime. So barring a massive Deagle play here, they will be playing for 11 rounds in a row of overtime. And I got to say, feeling like a tough ask. Reminder, this is Brazen's map pick as well. Don't know that that matters enormously with a Mirage. But it doesn't bode well for the Inferno.
Oh, no. No, not at all. They only played that twice in the last 2 months, and it's 1-1. Not exactly anything stellar to speak of. Here comes Dane. He's managed to work his way all the way to the top of ramp and get spotted out now. He'll try to retreat, and Grape gets 2! 2-1, making a third!
Okay.
What is happening?
All right.
Grape gets the 3K, Wiz responds, but now it's going to be a 4v1 as Polo connects on Wiz. No, Walco, the last one standing, he's going to have to be a hero here, and he won't. What just happened, Mike?
The power of the pause, John. The power of the pause.
What?
The power of the Grape. Grape just got 3 kills with that Deagle. Before this, had 2 total. So, I mean, that would make a difference. Having Grape online here would make a major difference for this team. That's quite the turnaround. Quite the moment to step up. That's pure impact, baby. But now they got to do it twice, and this time they got guns in their hands. No Deagles anymore. Sometimes when the rifles come out, what are the nerves? Deagling. There's nothing to lose. Arzu coming, trying to get frisky with it. They know about it, though. The smokes are out early. They're trying to block that particular peak, and so EG will hold on to the initial positioning.
.121 on the clock here. Wiz gonna go for the peak. Looking in towards jungle. Sees nothing.
No one's
Calling
watching
back to
his
his
Palace
teammate.
play.
Yeah. Well, now I think Grape's trying to watch between ramp and Palace, and now he's going to peek towards Palace, and he does spot out Wiz and take him down to 47. So that's probably going to force Wiz back, and it absolutely does. As the hit may go towards B, but I think EG might want mid-control before that point.
They've got it if they want it.
Yeah.
It's being given over. So now they are going to spend a little bit of time poking around here, realizing, hey, you know, no one is watching. They've got some options. Likely going to be a finish A with the positioning of the player in ramp. That's Chop. Got a player playing Firebox. Who's playing Firebox? Dangerous. Interesting angle here. Uncommon to see from CC's. Great. Deleted.
Nice
He's erased. Hero of the last round. Arzu, though, makes his presence felt from Catwalk. And the pressure is coming on. Dangerous, relying on the element of surprise here. Won't be able to deny the bomb, but he will be able to get a kill in the post. Really read his position, but eventually it will come through, and now 2 kills come in hot and heavy, and it's a disadvantage for Brazen in the retake. They've got to try it. They've got to try it. This is just too close to being a viable opportunity, and Arzu's already through. Frankie coming to join him, trying to link up, but the positioning in towards jungle and ramp is going to make this very tough to dig out. Molotov picks the wrong side. Arzu is a dead man, and well, they can just wait for Frankie to have the bomb. Stanislav will just force the issue a little bit early.
Yeah, they were already positioned to kind of counter where they absolutely knew he was, because that Molotov was thrown right into jungle from stairs. So 15-5 in favor of EG after that crazy performance from Grape with the Deagle. The rifles don't yield as much success for Brazen, which has been pretty much the story here for them. They've had some heroic rounds, but unable to really convert any type of win streak off of those round victories. So they're going to force up, Mike, no choice, and it's not going to be that great. An A1S and op, MP9 and 2 Deagles, but we saw it only takes 1 Deagle to make a round viable. Grape was delivering those Wandigs a couple of rounds ago. He will have it in his hands. And Wiz gets the opener onto Polo. No fuss, no muss there on that shot. Polo tried to peek into mid, but just could not deal with Wiz and the angle he was holding.
Wiz? Get another chance. Grape wants to swing. EG just chilling. Seeing if they're going to get any aggression back the other way. Dangerous is taking a little bit of aggressive posturing in towards ramp, but it seems like he's going to smoke and give this up.
Oh,
Please play off
he's
this one.
pushing?
Thinking better of it. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. And Grape's dead. The call of the void spoke to him too much. Had to peek in towards mid. Straight to death. Frankie, the timing here. Oh, this is brutal. This is magnificent.
Oh.
Frankie has just flipped this round on its head. 40 seconds. They got not that much time, but if Arzu jumps through smokes at you, that does make it a little bit easier. Dangerous alone in a 1v3 to try and keep this round in the realm of possibility. And while he will find the first, he's still out of position to deny the bomb, and he cannot escape. He cannot get away. It's going to be the Evil Geniuses to absolutely smack down Brazen on their map pick. Snatched away. Mirage working beautifully here. EG clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, absolutely. I think their T side much more convincing than CT side, aside from that one round, right, where Grape just hit some nutty shots with the Deagle. EG were in full control. CT side a little bit shakier. A lot of those rounds were very tightly contested by Brazen.